YouTube. It's been a long time. So I thought I would go out on the doorstep and find out what type of garbage bag was delivered today. And much to my chagrin, I found a package that was completely unwrapped. It's the way I give gifts. Here, have this.
It is. True story.
I didn't bother wrapping it or putting it in a box.
Well, sometimes they're like in a Walmart bag.
Sometimes they're in a Walmart bag or Menards bag. This depends on the day. But evidently the shipper, I'm not even going to name them except Banggood. Banggood shipped this to me. And they didn't even put it in a bag this time. So they know you are seriously shipping something when you just put it in the retail package and you're like, here, mailman, get this there quick. Anyway, so this is an e-sheen, also known as Volantex in this case. You'll notice a common scenario. There's like a WL Hobbies or Volantex or XK or you never really know exactly what the branding is going to be when you get it. But I just did a P51 the other day, and it was a pretty cool little plane. And this, in fact, is going to be, I think, a lot like it. So we'll see. The unboxing is going to be really phenomenal on this. Oh no, I forgot my knife.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Okay, so I take it back. They did package it. Look. There's
Ooh.
piece of tape.
That'll totally make it from China.
That is how you do it, guys. You want to package something, plop it in there, throw one piece of tape or two if you're really serious, and then put my address on it. This does look pretty nice.
At least you know it's not broken when it shows up on your doorstep.
The packaging is solid.
Yeah.
It's not always that way, guys. That's why you watch my channel.
But if you're ordering this for your kid for Christmas, it's not gonna come packaged.
You may want to make sure you go outside and get the mail before they do.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll notice the box is somewhat sturdy, but this is the magical thing. This is why they survive, because you have a lot of support. And that's good. When you're buying stuff from a Chinese website, just be prepared. You may want to make sure, watch the unboxing first. There's the manual. This is a user's manual. Is that?
That's right.
That is right? That's the way you spell that?
Yeah.
Interesting. So they just go through all these different things. I'm sure they have some really hilarious remarks about, oh my goodness, look at this. That's what we call an addendum in English. And somebody added that. So it's got the one-touch key built into the transmitter. It's got these interesting round things. So it protects your sticks in transit. Also really nice.
Oh, good. More garbage to keep.
Really nice landing gear.
Also known as garbage.
So that's not broken. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
This is not broken. That's good. Spring return. Okay. This is going to be a mode 2, I hope. I guess I didn't pay attention. Looks like expert, mid, MIDD, and then beginner. Then there's this. This is how the eject button. You press that if you want to get ejected from the. Oh wait, no, it's not. Aerobatics. Is that what that says? Aerobatics. So what'll happen is it'll like do a flip or a roll or whatever, and to be honest, it's actually pretty awesome. I thought it was going to be totally stupid, and it was super fun with the P51. Okay, so where do you grab this thing from? You can't quite reach it. Okay, you can't quite reach it. I don't have my needle nose pliers on me.
The tail.
Yeah, right. You can't. Oh, I guess you could get it by the tail.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wow. Wow, that's pretty good. That's good. I mean, the scale lines are a little bit lacking, but it is a cool looking little plane. And you'll notice, just like the P51, this wheel is not a steerable tail wheel. Super disappointing. I call that a miss. And yet, it's not going to matter because this thing is going to fly so gloriously. Look at those. Oh, wow, super scale landing gear. Maybe not. But still, they look all right, given the nature of this aircraft. I believe you're supposed to put it forward like that. Now, let's just get rid of the elephant in the room, okay? If you are used to some other competitive varieties, first of all, you're not going to get a spare prop with it. You're certainly not going to get a charging cord with it. Well, it depends on which one you buy. But you're not going to get a prop saver, and these things just pop on and off. That's what this does. And you can slide that on. There's a little 3-piece mechanism that clips on. So when you do that, when and if you do, there's a gearbox in here. You need to do your best to support. Oh, in fact, the people can see on this model, you can see the gearbox in there where the brushed motor interacts with the gear set, and then that speeds up. It basically will help your motor to last a little bit longer is what Volantex claims. I'm not sure if I agree with that, but it is going to speed up the prop so you get a little better performance out of it. These can be replaced really easy. Just make sure you support the fuse when you do it. I mean, really, otherwise you're going to break stuff. Okay, you'll be surprised how weak it is. The good news is these things are, I say that was a bad terminology. Weak is not the right way of describing it. They give a lot. See, you can't do that with other types of foam, okay? And it just gets right back up, okay? This is a little bit stiffer here, which is what you need because that's, you know, horizontal and vertical stabilizer. It's important to stay square to the aircraft, okay? This looks really cool, actually. I really, really want to fly it inside. I'm getting the, you're not flying that thing inside look. I don't know about you guys, but that looks like Tundra tires to me. If I cut those down, that would be a pretty sweet Tundra tire. And though they're not quite square, so I'm just gonna bend them a little bit. If you have a toe in on your landing gear like that, when you get this out of the box, you're gonna have to fix it. So just bend them a little bit until you're satisfied that they're not gonna be toed in like that. A toe in is better than a toe out. We are talking about the alignment of the wheels relative to the center line of the vehicle. Okay, so you can see, you can just kind of grab and move them around and just roll it. See, it's kind of binding itself up because this wheel is at an angle. I had to do that on the P51 too, didn't I? Yep. So, ooh, see that's a problem. If you try to bend this while it's in the foam, it's just gonna damage stuff. So what you gotta do is you gotta get a pair of needle nose pliers and straighten that. I know some of you are screaming at the TV or the smartphone or the whatever you're watching this on, and you're saying, just fly the thing already. And I'm thinking the same thing in my head, but I'm thinking, no, pump the brakes, kids. You need to get this stuff right. If you don't, you're gonna regret it immediately, and then you're gonna be like, oh, Brian, I thought you said it was awesome. Well, that's because I put in the due diligence. It's just like any other airplane. You have to make sure that it's not gonna break down when you get into it. Because once you start flying, you're flying, and you got to complete the job at that point. So show the people at home what I'm doing. Can you try to get like a first-person view for these folks? Do you see what I'm doing here? I'm just lining them up. I need to bend that. I need to grab it right here, and I need to bend it. I'm just grabbing it and bending it until it appears that it's sort of lined up. But the bushing on this wheel leaves a lot to be desired. Whatever, these landing gear aren't near as good as the ones that I shock absorption. That's good. All right, anything else in here? Interesting. Where the heck are my batteries?
In the radio, possibly?
What? It's like somebody filmed
I've done this before.
No! What is going on here?
No.
Did somebody short me my batteries? No, they're probably in the plane. I mean, they got literally a perfect spot for them right here. That's designed to receive batteries.
Are they in there?
Yeah, they're in there.
There?
Look, folks.
Oh, yep.
It's a boy. There it is.
Aww.
I'm just gonna, if you work at the Chinese factory, I'm just gonna show you how this works. That's the way it's supposed to work. I'm just, you know, I mean, it's designed for it and everything. So if you get this, it's already stuffed in the hole. So I got one battery on this one. It is a 360 milliamp hour,
Oh, good.
as opposed to the 350 that I got in the helicopter from Eachine. So I'm just going to show you the same process I always show people. We're going to grab an ultra-fine Sharpie in this case, and we're going to take, and we're going to mark this. We're going to say, what is this thing, a Sport Cub?
Yep.
It's a Sport Cub. They call this the Sport Cub. They don't call it anything else, just Sport Cub. So I'm just going to call it the Sport Cub, not Volantex. And I have several Sport Cubs, folks, and Carbon Cubs and all that stuff. So it is hard to keep them straight. This has a low C connector. If you're not familiar with what that is both the balance charge lead and the discharge lead, because there's only one cell in series, also known as a 1S. I know that sounds stupid because series implies more than one, and it is true, but that's just the world we live in. So to charge this thing, you need a USB plug of some sort. This just happens to be the one that's been floating around the last few weeks in our living slash dining slash kitchen slash mudroom slash whatever you call this room.
Airplane hanger.
Yes. This is a charger. It's made in China. Okay, big surprise, right? So you're gonna untwist this little doohickey here, or just pull really hard. Now, I always talk about safety for about 30 seconds in my videos. This is the only time I'm gonna be serious in my videos. Don't let a lipo ruin your day, burn your house down, kill your family, your dog, whatever it is that you've got that you care about. This little lipo is probably not going to do that much damage unless it's, say, in your living room next to your Christmas tree, and then it could burn your house down and kill your family, so you don't want to do that. Plug this thingy into here, like this. See how that goes? I'm going to do it from this angle. Watch this, guys. Watch this. Boom. Okay? Then you're going to plug this thing into your little charger. Make sure you get it keyed the right direction, and then plug it in the wall. And then you'll notice a red light comes on, okay? The way you do this is the way you do this. You put it next to your disgusting banana, and then you have your fresh bananas. See this? This is granite. It's not gonna burn. This could burn, and that could burn, and we'd be okay. It wouldn't burn the house down. That's all I'm gonna talk about it. Don't put it on a rug. Don't put it in your dog's bed or whatever you've got laying. Don't put it in a pile of blankets. If something goes wrong, I don't want you blaming me for that, and I don't want it to happen to you either. But this is the plane. So my hopes and dreams are like this. I want to fly this thing right now, so we're just going to see how well it does. So let's just get stuff cleaned up, and we will come right back. YouTube. This plane is a nice looking plane, but it definitely does not resemble closely a Cub. And the reason I figured it out, it's because the nose needs to be more squashed. So someday, one of you guys might want to do a video on how to make it look like a Cub. It's still an all right looking plane, it just doesn't look like a Cub. Probably because they didn't want to pay for the rights. So Volantex RC, we've got the transmitter here. We're going to take the flat part, we're going to stuff it in the hole like that. We're going to do that, and then we're going to do this. There's 4 AA's required. It did not come with it. Jeez, I can't hardly get that one in. Man, that's like really tight. What the heck? Oh my goodness. It goes. Well, I don't have to worry about it falling out of there at least.
It's true.
Oh, weird. This is made in China. That's strange.
I'm
Totally
shocked.
surprising. I'm really disappointed. Facetious people. All right, so that battery is charging. So what we're going to do is we are going to grab a similar battery right now. So for this demonstration, which is probably not going to include flying unless I get really lucky, and I will love this plane all of a sudden, I'm going to use a 350 milliamp, which is just 10 milliamp hours less than the 360 that came with it stock. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this low C connector from here and pull that out just a little teeny bit. We're going to get that out where we can plug it in. And I believe what we're going to do is we're going to turn this on, throttle stick down, make sure we're in beginner mode, which is all the way down towards your belly or whatever. And we are going to lay that flat. Then we're going to grab this plug, and we are just going to look how I'm doing this, guys. I got a black wire and a red wire. That's the easiest way to get your alignment right. If it's built wrong, you want the red and black to agree. Now zoom back or walk back or whatever. And first thing you're gonna do is give it a second to initiate. Then I'm gonna pick it up. Once you just go with something like this here. Elevator up, elevator down. Aileron roll to the roll. Whoa, roll, roll. And the throttle would be here. Now it's armed. Now it's working. Sounds a little bit out of balance, but that's okay for a dinky little plane like this. So we're just gonna ram that into the housing. And we'll just make sure everything is working. Now, I had a little bit of a oopsie-kin moment on my P51 the other day. Make sure that you turn the transmitter on first, which is always a rule of thumb, but occasionally we'll have a manual that asks us to do it in the reverse order, which is goofy. And I'm gonna show you the plane that it does it on because everybody gave me trouble about it the other day. These airplanes, you do it in the reverse order. So those people that were right, you're wrong. Sorry, I hate to prove you wrong. But those ones you have to do in the reverse order, which is goofy, and I agree. It's not the way it normally is, and generally speaking, it's not a good safety principle to energize something with a spinning, moving part like that could hurt you. You want to have full control of your aircraft all the time. So, speaking of full control of your aircraft, do you know what's next? Do you know what's next? Is this the time where we try to fly it inside the house and fail miserably?
What are you gonna crash into?
I don't know, the Christmas tree?
No.
Why?
On my tree.
How about I just try throwing it across the room first? And let's see if it does. Because this thing would be awesome if it flew inside. I don't think it will. Well, it flies pretty good. If it flies slow, then there's no reason why this thing can fly inside the living room. Right? I'm not getting a lot of feedback from
You break it, you buy it.
camera crew. That is true. I think what would help slow this plane down would be leading edge slats or flaps. And they could be passive, meaning they're always deployed. I just want to see how fast it has to fly.
All right.
Let's try. This probably isn't going to work, guys. Warning, do not try this at your house unless you own it and your wife is okay with it. Which my wife is clearly okay with it since she hasn't said no. At least what you can see on the camera. That didn't work very good. I have a sneaky suspicion it's not going to be fast enough to fly without being outside. Now, I'm going to be the first to admit these things do fly outside. They fly well. So I'm not going to write anything off because of this test flight, but I really want to see it fly, and I want to see it fly in here because if this thing flies in here, it's going to be awesome. You guys feel the power?
Sure.
Okay, first thing, I'm just noticing that it kind of rolled, so I just want to make sure that, let's watch the correction. Watch this. See this? When I move the rudder that way, it corrects, it's fighting my environmental impact. That's what we want to see. Now let's watch these. Ooh, see it's going the opposite direction. Did you see that? When I lower this wingtip, that should go with the lowering. See how it's going with it? That means that it's going to exaggerate. It's going to exaggerate the roll, which is why it rolled into the middle of the room, guys. So let's figure out. Maybe we got the same problem we had with the P51. So we're going to try this right now. We're going to pull the power lead out so we can get to it. Do you remember what happened, camera crew?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, for those of you who don't understand stabilization and auto leveling will level the aircraft, and many times it will limit the amount you can bank the plane, limited bank angles, okay, so you don't tip it over and crash it. It will limit the amount you can go up, limit the amount you can go down before you regain control. Now, these planes, these Volantex planes, don't allow you to go, all the way upside down and stuff unless you press the trick button, and then it'll do it itself autonomously. It's very cool. But you're not under full control. The controller does that, okay? The reason I'm going into all this is because I want you to understand there is such a thing as stabilization, and then there's auto leveling. Stabilization will stop the environmental impact. Let's say the wind blows this wing down like that. Well, the plane is going to use its gyroscopes. 6-axis is what in this case it's 3-axis of pitch, roll, and yaw, and it's going to determine that was pushed down. So it's gonna counter that by pushing this aileron down, which is also gonna push this one up, and it's gonna try to resist that impact. That's what I mean by resisting environmental impact, okay? I'm not talking about like climate change here. I'm talking about environmental impact here, okay? So if the wind pushes this like that, the rudder is gonna go like that to stop it, okay? So that's how this works. Now the controller knows that I'm not moving my thumb to induce the yaw. It's coming from wind because it can tell when I tell it to do something versus when it happens to it, okay? That's what stabilization does. Auto leveling goes one step further and it brings a plane back to a level attitude, okay? School time's over. Yes, I realize it wasn't on its feet, and we're gonna see how it does with that, okay? So now, you'll notice the rudder is correcting. The stabilizer is working in that axis. Now let's watch the elevator. Watch the elevator. It should go up when I lift up the tail. It is, and it is. Now let's watch the aileron. When I lift this up, it should also go up like this. No, it's going the wrong way, folks. That is not gonna work. What do I do? Okay, so let's try switching it to expert mode. See? Nothing. Stabilizer's off. Now let's go to mid. Up. Oh, it's backward. That's not good. So are we rolling wrong? Look. Look. When I push this that way, what happens? That's going down, which is going to roll the plane this way. Folks, when I move this stick like that, this plane should roll like that, okay? When I push that stick like this, it should roll like this. The output is correct, but the servo is hooked up backward or installed backward. Now we need to figure out how to fix that. Interesting. This is gonna be a challenge. I gotta think about this for a minute. Let's look through this hole. Where is that servo mounted? Where the heck is that servo, folks? Let's see if we can see it from here. Nope, we can't see it from here. You can see that there's a seam down the middle of this plane. How am I gonna do this? Is there a way to switch the direction of travel? I don't think so, because look at this, guys. Just double confirm. When I move this to that direction, that aileron is most definitely going to lift this wing and go opposite. When I move this rudder, it's definitely moving the correct direction. When I move the elevator, it is definitely moving the correct direction. When I give it throttle, it is definitely giving it throttle and it's blowing the air the correct direction, which is a brush setup. It's not going to go backward. So that leaves me in a precarious spot because now I have to decide, do I tear into this thing, which this wing is glued. You can see by the way the seams are here. This wing is glued. My guess is that the mechanical the arm that comes off of the servo is probably installed on the wrong side of the servo. And so the output is backward because you can see there's a linkage that goes from one side to the other like this, okay? So the stabilization is working backward and the axis of control is backward. I have another idea. There's also a plug on this board that actually hooks up to that servo and it's going to allow us potentially to switch to the other aileron, and the other aileron will operate in the opposite direction potentially. Those two methods would potentially fix this. Now, before we dig into that, we are gonna consult the manual, and only because I don't wanna tear up this little beauty before I look in the manual. So that's what we're gonna do next, and I'm just gonna pause it, and I will look into this, and then I will come back and you will see the solution that I come up with. Welcome back, YouTube. As per my normal instructional videos, I'll be walking through how to unscrew up the plane that you just got out of your box that wasn't wrapped in a garbage bag. Come around, camera crew. Let's film this. This is on page 9/12.
9/.
Look, 9/12. This is the Chinese version of page 9. It's page 9 of user's manual 12. Is that what that is? No, it's 9 of 12. That's what it is. Good Lord.
Jeez.
Channel reverse. Warning. Normally this function is not necessary to be operated.
Except Usually, probably.
You guys are probably going to have to do this. So just remember, folks, I warned you that you're going to have to do it. So forget what that says. Normally, this function is not necessary to be operated. At least they have the function. And I'll be honest with you, most of the time, there ain't a function to do this. So transmitter on, throttle stick in the mid position. Mid position. That's the mid position. Okay? I want it in the middle. Okay?
Are you sure?
Remember, your hands could get struck. So you see what I'm doing? I'm holding the prop. This is not a 16-inch prop that's going to chop my hand off, folks. Don't do that with your carbon Z Cub, okay? I got a lot of flack about the carbon Z Cub. Don't put your hands where it can get cut. I don't know exactly
Well,
how
then you can't
that.
plug the battery in.
Exactly. So now we need to power on the transmitter and the device. I don't really know how you're supposed to do that simultaneously. Do not unlock the throttle, meaning don't move it. And then turn the channel stick to the max position. I think it worked, folks. Now we're going to unplug this, okay? It's unplugged. Now I'm going to turn this off. It's off, okay? Now I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to start again, and we'll see if this works. So, everybody, this is pretty exciting. I was 2 seconds away from tearing into this awesome, beautiful plane. Okay, now that that's initiated, and you can tell it's initiated by it not jumping around doing weird things like bouncing the ailerons or making that noise. Okay, battery's in. Now let's look from the correct angle. Camera crew, you'll notice the throttle is in the middle. That was a mistake. We probably need to redo this. This plane does a lot more than you might think. There is a lot going on this controller, and if you don't do it just right, you can cause problems. And when I say problems, I mean it's not like, you know, you're going to get an audit on your taxes. It's just not going to work right. So, all the way up, all the way down, should be armed. Okay, now watch. Rudder, rudder, elevator, elevator, aileron, aileron. Now watch this. Now we're looking for correction. We are in beginner mode. Woo! Rudder, rudder. Let's do it like this. Rudder, rudder. That's correct. Now, elevator, elevator. It's harder to see that one. Can you see it? Let's try this. Let's do that. Okay, watch. Up, down. Oh, that's hard to see even there. Okay, guys. Up, down. Okay, let's do this one. Rudder. See how it's pushing to the right? Now it's going to push to the left. Okay. Hopefully that helps some. Now watch this. When I lift the wing, it's going to go up. It does! Time to fly the airplane in the house. So this is the next time I'm going to talk about safety rules. Don't fly. We suggest flying over grass, okay? You need to have like arrows pointed in all directions. Don't have any children on swings that are next to the railroad tracks, or sliding off of the slide into the road. That's dangerous. Also, don't put power lines right in your backyard.
And fly over grass and take off on a smooth surface like asphalt.
Yeah. So those are the types of safety warnings we're gonna abide by.
I'm gonna move.
Oh no! It's immediately crashed into the wall. It went the right direction.
I did. That's true.
So, why do I want this to fly in here so bad?
Because you're
I
crazy.
really do want it to fly in here so bad. So we're going to try it, and we're still going to show you a demo outside. We will pause the video and come back when the weather's nice. Oh, it's so close. It's like this close to flying in here. I just need a little bit more authority to be able to make that maneuver, which means the control surfaces will have to be bigger. And also the battery won't be able to hang out the bottom. So we're going to try this one more time. I think it's probably going to fly too fast for indoor flight. And when I say indoor, I mean we're in our living room. If you had a gymnasium, you could fly this thing in there probably. I believe it would fly.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
The other thing is you could change the airfoil shape and it would help a little bit. Okay, are you ready? Did you see that? I just tried to fly the plane at the camera crew.
I know. I don't think
that kind of husband would
I don't
do
think that was flying actually.
So
Like falling
the
with
funny
style.
thing is, if anything can be gleaned from this experience, beyond the fact that you need to probably check this out before you expect to be able to fly it,
Yeah.
is that it is on the cusp of flying inside. So I'm gonna play with that for a minute and we'll come right back. All right, guys, don't worry, I'm still gonna fly this outside, but I have made some minor modifications to make the control surfaces bigger. And yes, I know that it looks kind of ridiculous, but you just wait. You just wait about 30 seconds on that. And you let me know how awesome it looks here in a minute. Oh, it didn't look that very good. I promise you, we just made this around the living room twice before we crashed. And we're gonna do it again right now. You ready, folks at home? Oh, no!
See, it's the tree.
The tree got me that time. So let's talk about how this works. Now, I put the battery back farther. I used a smaller battery that gets the CG back more. And then this is what I was talking about, the 3 little clips. I put a little piece of tape on there to get that a little bit more balanced. I'm just to show you how this works. You just kind of slide that onto the prop shaft, and you do have to sort of get creative on how you can apply pressure because it wants to push that whole motor back in. So this thing is going to fly inside. It's just not going to be easy. So
Almost all the way.
almost made it around. Oh, we lost the down gear. You know what? That's probably okay. We're not going to be using the wheels to land this plane, I'm guessing. So without further ado, guys, we are going to basically try to get this thing to fly inside, and then hopefully it will survive to fly outside shortly. And when I say shortly, I mean when the weather cooperates and it's light enough to fly. But it's going to be right now. We're going to get it. We're just going to do this a couple more times. Ooh, hold on. See how it's not all the way on? We'll pause it and get that straightened up.
Mm-hmm.
So the moral of the story is this thing will fly really nice inside if you have a gigantic room, or if you're really patient like me. And to be honest with you, I'm going to see this thing flying. And we're going to pause it, and what we'll do is we'll just not bore you. Once I get it flying, my wife will start it again. I mean, the camera crew will start it again.
Good. Going.
Okay, guys, I found the magic bullet. The leading edge slat is what this thing needs to fly, and you can see they're very ugly right now. This is just design in infancy, okay? So what I used is, these are super sticky notes, and I basically just kind of made like a really big, thick, bulbous front of the wing, and then I have these on the outside, right past where the ailerons are, and then these, I don't even know if they're helping, but we're gonna go ahead and do one more flight, start to finish. This is about revision number, what, 15? Oh, I knew I was gonna hit that thing. So the moral of the story is that it's actually flying and it's pretty awesome. The bad thing is that it's taken a lot of effort to get it here, and I've crashed it many times. I mean, and it's done really well. That prop saver has pretty much not given us any problems. I'm in beginner mode now, so. And guys, I am flying this. I mean, it's no BS. It's really flying, and there's a lot of stuff to watch out for. And yes, when we were designing this house, I brought up things like this, and people thought, what an idiot. You see, the type of
Timing.
support I did. Impeccable timing. Oh, it's so sad. And you know what's funny though, guys, is that this thing, I'm just gonna demonstrate this again, because if I can get a plane like this to fly inside, it gets an A+ in my book. And I'm serious because I get all excited about planes. All I had to do was tape the battery back here, put a bunch of ugly stuff on here. Let's take these ugly things off and see how it flies. Let's just see if we can get the thing to fly. Because if it's just the front of the wing, I think that's pretty good. We're probably gonna have the elevator. But all it is just sticky notes, and I just stuck them on there. So if you really wanted it to work nicely, you could probably take more than 5 minutes and make it look good.
It's been more than 5 minutes.
What? How much? Ooh, way better. So I'm just like on the cusp of success here, and my camera crew is muting me.
Your camera crew is on the cusp of dinner.
What? What is that thing? It is flying pretty fast right now. Whoa.
Workers' comp.
What type of drastic injury did you receive?
Oh no, like a paper cut.
So the only thing that's happened to this plane after the probably 35 hard crashes is that this cracked. Yeah, let's go up here, guys. So this thing cracked, but you'll notice that the Chinese glue, basically you just force that back in, and it's just gonna stick back in. It's no big deal. Of course, the time I say that, it doesn't want to stick back in. So if you don't have such luck, you can tape that shut, or you can use what's called mucilage. And I would show you, ooh, see, and that's the other thing you got to watch out for. You see how it's wobbling really bad? You got to find the direction it's wobbling and then snap it in. So if you guys try to fix that and you have problems, it's called mucilage. Let's show them what mucilage looks like.
Yep.
So guys, this is mucilage. For reasons I won't go into on this video, I'm not going to tell you exactly where to get this. But you can find it by searching for it. And this is what it looks like when it comes out of the tube. It's like rubber cement, except it's going to be foam safe-ish. So if you have something like that, like a split, you can see how strong it is, right? So what you do is you just take mucilage and you just kind of work it in there a little bit. And if you really want to get super specific with it, then you can just take and swipe that down into both sides. Try not to get it on your prop like I did. And you see how it's like super, super, super sticky. Thing I like about this stuff is you can just wipe it off and it rolls up into boogers. Like anybody who used rubber cement as a kid knows exactly what I'm talking about. If you were in elementary one day and you were making boogers and flinging them at your co-students.
Or if you have a toddler.
Yes, if you have a toddler. So the other thing is this part here.
Oh, hold on, wait.
Sorry. This part here.
Okay.
So that's separated only as a result of many abusive
This thing
crashes.
is like super durable.
Yeah, I can't believe how many times I've crashed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've landed in the tree multiple times. I'm just going to do just a little bit.
And it's not like crashing in grass where you're like trying to land and it like just kind of crashes.
No, this is like full
Like
speed.
into
ran
the
into
ground.
The wall,
Yeah.
Ran into my camera crew. Ran into the Christmas tree. I didn't run into any animals yet.
No, not yet.
But yeah, so that stuff, believe it or not, will you could hold lots of things together. But if I were to try to pull this apart right now, it would probably come apart twice and then it would rip the foam. So I'm not even gonna like try to do that, but I just wanted you guys to see that there is such a mechanism exists. And you want to make sure you keep the glue out of your gearbox. That's very critical. So glue in there, and so I'm just gonna show you what I'm talking about, guys. See this? How close that is to your gearbox? So just be careful where your glue ends up, okay? So I'm gonna just show you. There it is. See, that stuff is so sticky, it's already started to yank the foam apart like I was talking about. So that's the way you can fix that. And if you're unsure, run the motor for a little bit. Make sure any residue that got on it is gonna be free. You'll notice it's speeding up. That's because I'm working through any little residual glue that would have been on it, okay? So those are my tips and tricks for this. I really want to see this thing fly reliably inside, so we're gonna play with it some more and come right back.
Okay. Or I'm not. Okay.
Perfect land. All right, now from the table. A different takeoff zone. So guys, I'm really impressed with how well this is flying. I know it doesn't seem probably like it's flying that great, but compared to other indoor flying planes I've had in the past, this actually is not that far off. And if you don't like that, then you won't want to fly this inside because you'll have like 400 collisions the first time you try it, and it's fun though. The thing that's nice, the thing I want you guys to see is just how really relatively slow this thing is going. And it is flying pretty slow. And how relatively extremely challenging it is to actually fly an aircraft like this inside the house. All I can say is I'm really impressed with this little thing. And I'm just going to show you my refinements, if you want to call them that. Basically, what I did, the biggest thing is I took 6 sticky notes and I made a leading edge slat, and then I increased the rudder size, okay? So the rudder size, if you used a white sticky note, you could actually make this look halfway decent. And all I did was I just played with the position until I got it right, and then I did pull the battery back to get the center of gravity back. If you put the battery inside the battery holder, then you'll probably be disappointed because it's going to want to fly a lot faster, and then you're not going to have good luck. This is what I was talking about earlier, how you kind of have to support the motor. So what happens is you mostly have to squeeze from the side, and then you have to try to tip this in like one axis at a time, because otherwise it pushes the motor mount back in. And then once you get it, you can kind of spin it. See? It's tricky to get it to stick in there. And just to demonstrate that it should be working still, we'll do one more flight. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
And it landed perfectly in the pantry. So that's it for tonight. I will fly this thing outside. And so what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and, I'm really excited about this thing now. I thought it was gonna be fun outside, but it's gonna be really fun in here. And I just hope it survives long enough for tomorrow so we can take all this crap off of here and fly it outside for you guys at home. But without further ado, this thing is pretty cool. I'm just gonna show you again. This is available, it's Banggood. I'll put a link to it down below in the description. Just like usual, there's a bunch of other stuff on there if you wanna help support the channel. This thing is worth its weight in gold if it flies inside, and it does fly inside. And all I had to add was, I think this would be a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sticky notes. And you could have yours flying inside too, which is pretty cool actually. That makes this plane a definite thumbs up. Go get one now. YouTube, Brian Phillips coming back. We're gonna do this outside. You've already seen that it can perform inside to a certain extent. You'll notice I took off my modifications, and I can't believe how many times I crashed this thing and it's still running. So we've already got it initiated. We tested all the surfaces, and we're going outside because it's cold. Oh, it hurts. It's so cold. It's maybe not that bad yet. All right, no steerable tail wheel. So we're just gonna get in the air. Man, that's good. Really good. Look at that. Guys, I'm really pleasantly surprised with how well this is flying. Look at this. Here we go. It's coming out of the turn. Just rudder, or excuse me, just aileron turn. Look at that, even losing some altitude. That's awesome. Now we'll just do a rudder turn. I did move the linkage. Okay, I moved the linkage from the middle hole to the inside-most hole. I'll show you what I'm talking about, guys. I wanted more throw on my rudder for the inside flight stuff we did. And so I moved this linkage from the middle to the inside, and that gives a little bit more output. There's your hand launch. Whoa, that was an acrobat bail. Okay, acrobats, pull back. Wow, that's even better than the P51. Okay, about half throttle, acrobat roll. Not enough speed. Well, it's trying. Okay, full throttle next time. I think it knew I was bailing out, so it stopped. Okay, full throttle, acrobat roll. Wow, that's like really slow, guys. Scared me. Okay, if you're gonna do a roll, you're gonna want to make sure you're going fast into the wind and very, very far from anything. That's the roll speed. Oh my goodness, guys. I would not recommend doing that. I'm in the beginner mode, as you can probably tell from the auto leveling, meaning I don't have to touch it and it just flies. And then I just point and click and it goes where I want it to. Pointing it down. Oh man, that looks so good. Man, if they just had the scale lines just a little teeny bit better. Oh man, this plane would be awesome. Okay, so I'm in expert now. Not dead calm, but pretty calm. Man, this thing is actually flying reasonably well. Okay, so I'm gonna try to go into the wind here. I can do all the craziness I want. A little bit slow on the controls. Feels like the elevator is kind of almost sticky a little bit right now. I am in expert mode right now, which is how I'm able to bring the plane upside down. When you're in beginner mode, just so you know, it limits your bank angles. I'm going to demonstrate with rudder and aileron. Okay, so that's full rudder, or excuse me, full aileron. Now I'm going to show you the full elevator. A little more throttle. There's full down elevator, full up elevator. I think the gyros are a little bit goofy here. So let's see if we can try this. You're supposed to do that while you're landed, so let's try it landed. See how it's wanting to go up all the time, guys? Let's land it. You can't typically land into your legs like that, but you'll notice the elevator is just wanting to be up. So we're going to lay this in. Just a real light breeze here that hurts my face. Supposedly you're supposed to be able to do this and reset the gyros. I don't know if I believe it, but we'll try it. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so we're going to try coming toward us. I did not set up the return to home function. Yeah, it doesn't seem to do anything because I never turned it on. And to be honest, I think it's the stupidest function ever. I'm not really interested in it. If you decide to do it, just read the manual. I don't trust it. I wouldn't trust it if I were you either. But all of a sudden, we're getting that wind. Oh, man. That feels really not good when you're out here in the wind. Okay, here we go. Close pass for the camera crew. Wow, that is good. Here we go, coming back. Woohoo! Not enough authority. It's flying very good, guys. I did not expect this. This thing flies the way I want a plane to fly. So let's just talk for a minute. Let's compare this to the P51. Obviously, the P51 has better scale lines. It does not fly half as good as this plane. This plane flies great. And that plane flew good. So I'm telling you, I know how a plane should fly, and this plane flies pretty stinking good, even though I'm freezing my tail off to film it. And for the price point, I was thinking that it'd be kind of compared to another company that rhymes with Verizon Bobby. And I'm not saying that this plane is better by any means. I'm saying that it flies comparably well, if not slightly better. Plus you get the added acrobat function that will take you right into the previous power line. Okay, now watch this is, okay, acrobat, pull up. It does a perfect loop though, what the heck? And then push and then roll. It's like the world's slowest roll. Still trying. Okay, we're coming out of that. If you get really far away, you could lose radio signal, so I would not recommend doing that. Okay, I'm gonna go into expert and just show you. Whoa, that's pretty cool. The elevator must be getting a little stuck in the extreme cold. Oh man, but that thing looks good. It's flying good. If you wanted to make this thing look a little bit more like the Verizon Bobby product, then what you would have to do is probably cut yourself a little piece of white paper or maybe a sticky note and just make your little triangles for where the landing gear attached to the plane, and it would have a little better scale appearance. But honestly, look how good it looks. What do you think, camera crew?
I think it's cold. No,
I know
but
it hurts,
good.
but it hurts good.
Well,
yeah, maybe not for you.
It does look good though.
I mean, it's easy to fly. I mean, I would totally put this in the hands of our littlest child. Excuse me, not our littlest. He would step on it.
Yeah.
I would put it on the hands of our oldest child,
Yes,
the one that actually flies airplanes from time to time. One thing to keep in mind too is I don't feel like this plane is going to induce as many bad habits as other planes that have recently been evaluated, because they fly completely on rails. And when I say completely on rails, I mean like you pull up and it goes. There's none of that on this plane. It's just smooth. It feels like you got a ton of expo, and it's got auto leveling. And I mean, it flies easy. So now I'm going to go to the intermediate and just see what my bank angles look like. Oh yeah, there's your bank angles on intermediate. There's your bank angles. Looks like not any change. So intermediate, let's see what it does here going by. Oh, do your fingers hurt?
Well, I have gloves on, but yes.
Yeah, mine hurt a little bit. Oh, we're doing a loop because we can. Oh yeah. Even in beginner mode, guys, your kids are going to be like, yeah, do the loop, man, it's no big deal. Dad, I don't know why you couldn't do a loop in your 60s. Yeah, on that SIG that you built for 6 months, I don't know why you couldn't do a loop on the first day. Yeah, and then you'll kind of look at them and think, whatever, dude. And then you'll want to fly it for yourself, so you might as well just get
There's
two of them.
a giant bird
Where?
over the power lines.
Oh, yeah, that might be. Is that an eagle?
No, that was a hawk.
Honey, are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
That looks like an eagle. Let's just loiter. That may be an eagle. That's a bald eagle, I think.
No, I didn't see the white tail.
Here, just watch. Maybe it is. No, that is a hawk.
It is a hawk. That's a big hawk, though.
Yeah, guys, we get some bald eagles out here, and hawks, and all sorts of other things that are looking for a tasty treat in our backyard by the name of Chicken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. And maybe
they do actually have names.
they have names because we name the animals that we might eat their eggs.
We name the animals because we have kids.
They're not broilers. Don't worry, folks.
Nope.
And if you don't know what a broiler is, then you don't know where I'm going with that. If you do know what a broiler is, then more power to you. Put it in the comments. Okay, this thing's gonna go forever. I gotta stop this or I'm gonna get in trouble. I was told to make this quick. All right. I'm gonna land this good once and then we're going. All right, I'm landing it good. You ready? Coming in for final. Trying to make it look scale. Nice sync rate. Controlling my rate of descent with throttle. Oh, yes!
And the camera crew wins the award for video
Folks,
length.
it doesn't get any better than that.
That's cool.
For a cheap, ready-to-fly Chinese plane. This thing is pretty awesome. I've crashed this exact model hundreds of times.
Yes.
Didn't even replace the prop once.
Nope.
And I have another one. And my hands are literally on fire. That's how you get no more super.